Welcome to 10-Minute Tips for Health and Wellness. I am here with Dr. Hyla, and she is a nationally acclaimed innovator and expert in the fields of integrative medicine, psychiatry, and addiction recovery. Dr. Cass helps individuals take charge of their health, and one of the areas is withdrawing from both psychiatric medication and substances of abuse with the aid of natural supplements. Dr. Cass appears often as a guest on national radio and television, including The Dr. Oz Show, E! Entertainment, and The View, and also in national print media. She's been quoted in many national magazines, in blogs for the Huffington Post, and many other places where they seek expert advice on health and wellness matters. And that's why we have her here today. Dr. Cass, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. So, without any further ado, let me ask you, what is your number one piece of advice that people can do to maximize their health and wellness in 10 minutes or less?
I'm so glad you asked. Now, I am a physician, and my specialty is psychiatry and functional medicine, which really means I look under the hood. So rather than just treating symptoms, I'm actually helping people to understand what the root cause of any issue is. And when you treat things at the root cause, it's so much easier. And I'll give you a perfect example. Right now, the big issue is people trying to get off of the bad food, the sugar, the caffeine, alcohol, whatever. And when I say get off it, I mean get into a moderation phase with it, not be sugar junkies or alcoholics or caffeine, caffeine junkies.
Right.
And what's really going on, this is so cool, what's really going on is that your brain is giving you a message. It's saying, I need stimulation. I need sedation. It's telling you something. It's the language of the brain, the language of the body is to give you symptoms.
Right.
These messages. And so rather than trying to fight the message and say, oh no, I will use willpower. I will white knuckle it. I will not eat that Krispy Kreme. I have such a better way to do it.
Really? Well, now I'm fascinated because I know I'm quite addicted to caffeine, for sure.
And it's a stealth method. This is so cool. I see patients, and I do not say to them, okay, because they come in and they say, oh, you're going to make me give up all the good stuff. Or they'll lie about what they're actually eating because they don't want to tell me, because they're afraid I'm going to tell them to give it up. I say, don't worry, I'm not going to make you do anything, first of all. And I'm not going to make you give up anything, because when you give your brain and your body what it needs, it stops craving the bad stuff. And that works all the time. Even for myself, if I'm stressed, going a mile a minute, not getting enough sleep, I look at Starbucks and I say, I think I need one, And when I'm taking care of myself, eating right, getting enough sleep, eating a lot of the good things like vegetables, good quality protein, high quality fats, then I will walk by or drive by, because I live in Los Angeles, a Starbucks, and it won't even register. And I swear to you, this is what happens. And what's going on in the brain is deprivation. And the deprivation has to do with the really crappy diets most people are eating. Mm-hmm. And it's actually not even people's fault in a larger sense, because the food industry is very smart, just like the tobacco industry, and has created highly, highly addictive products that they call food, mm-hmm. that they put in packages with a lot of ingredients. When you read the ingredients and you start reading all the chemicals and all the stuff in it, guess what? All of that is made to make you addicted to it, to want more, to not be able to just eat one.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it makes for good business and good bottom lines, but it's definitely not for good health.
Bodies.
That's right.
So there is, fortunately, a really big grassroots movement now toward eating whole food, healthy food, growing your own vegetables, and eating foods without labels. And what happens with my patients is when they start eating the foods without labels, and that is the fruits and vegetables that they get from the farmer's market, mm-hmm. or from the periphery of the supermarket, what they notice is, without really thinking about it, they're not drawn to the bad stuff anymore. And it's just not a big effort. I mean, I even had one man, this was quite a few years ago, hard driving guy, and he used to put down a 6-pack at night. I didn't say to him, do you think you might have a problem with alcohol? I didn't say that because it would feel like a judgment to him, and then he just wouldn't want to talk to me about it. So better than that is I gave him the diet that I recommended, and I gave him supplements. I have these really wonderful supplements that help to balance your brain chemistry. And in my these vitamins, I also added some glutamine. Glutamine is a
Hmm.
very actually inexpensive amino acid that helps to cut cravings. So I gave him these vitamins, multivitamins, and
Hmm.
extra glutamine. I told him to take the glutamine twice a day. And he came in a month later, and I said, "How are you doing? How are you eating?" And he had kept a food journal, and he was doing really well. And I said, "And by the way, how much are you drinking?" And he said, "Oh, it's funny you should mention that. I noticed a 6-pack in the fridge the other day, and it had been days and maybe weeks since I'd even touched it. That was really funny." So there
Wow.
you
So
go.
he didn't have to use willpower. It's just you made it a natural function of him not seeking out the things that are bad for him.
Right. And it happened naturally because what's really beautiful is that our bodies are made as self-healing devices.
Right.
we heal ourselves.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. It's like our bodies want to be healthy, but most people do so many things to sabotage what they actually want. So going back to that, so you mentioned it's diet and supplements, and what can you be a little bit more specific on what people can do to optimize their brain chemistry um, in order to to alleviate that deprivation, in order to give it what it needs?
Well, it's really all the usual things that you'll hear from other health experts. Eat regularly. Eat 3 solid meals a day. Minimize sugar.
Hmm.
Eat good quality protein meat, fish, soy, but don't overdo the soy. But make sure you're getting a high quality protein. And if you're eating fish, the larger fish tend to have higher mercury levels.
Hmm.
So you want to eat the smaller fish.
Right. Yeah,
And
I've heard that.
so that's a whole other thing that you have to. There are websites that actually will tell you what fish are better or worse for you. So eating regularly, eating lots of veggies because food is information. The fresh food, the vegetables actually have messages for your body. They can turn your genes on and off. Eating a lot of vegetables, at least 5 servings a day, will actually be cancer protective. So you're not only protecting your brain, but you're actually protecting your body from cancer. See, the point is that all these things I'm going to tell you are things that are going to take care of your brain, take care of your cravings, and make you a healthier person. Drink water, exercise. Uh,
I love your approach, because so many people just focus on the body, and they say, well, drink water because it's good for your body, drink this and eat this because it's good for your body. And I really like the, no pun intended, the top-down approach, starting with the brain and realizing that affects every part of your body, and that by feeding your brain what it needs, it's like a trickle-down effect, and it just makes everything more optimized. Am I getting that correct?
Absolutely. The other thing is that we're so stressed that there's a tendency to kind of get tired partway through the day because our adrenal glands, those stress organs that are pumping out cortisol and adrenaline, get kind of tired and you feel like having a nap. Or if you're at your desk, you really can't take a nap. So you have some caffeine. Well, you actually can do a lot for yourself when that happens. And again, this is enrolling your brain in the whole process because you start to think before you grab the caffeine or grab the sugar. And that is eat something, eat some protein, exercise, get up and walk around. And I have actually given my patients adaptogens, and those are herbal products, herbs that have been, I mean, every culture except Western medicine gives people, medicinally, gives them adaptogenic herbs like rhodiola, ashwagandha, ginseng, reishi mushroom. They have really nice names too.
Hmm.
And I put some of them together in a product called Energy Boost. And rather than getting a caffeine high or a sugar high, this gives you a nice sustained energy throughout the day. So I have people take adaptogens in the morning and then partway through the day before they start to lag, so that the lag time doesn't even happen.
I love your approach to it. I love how you treat the whole person and how you treat the root cause and start with really the brain chemistry. I think that's an area that is oftentimes overlooked. You've got a lot of resources for folks who want to seek you out. That being said, what is the best way for listeners to get more information on you, your programs, your books, your products, some of these
Sure.
supplements? How do they reach you?
I have a website, cassmd.com, CASSMD, as in medical doctor.com. And on my website, the first thing you'll see is a place where you can sign up to get a free ebook called Reclaim Your Brain. And it really elaborates on a lot of the things we're talking about here.
Well,
So you can
great.
get a total education there, and then about how to use my products that are also there, because I developed these formulas when I couldn't find them out there in the world. So I developed them myself, and my patients are happy, my readers are happy, and it's a good thing.
Well, that
And,
is
and and the other thing I did was I wrote quite a few books. One of them called The Addicted Brain and How to Break Free, which goes into great detail about how to deal with food addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, and even how to get off prescription drugs, because that's one of the big addictions these days.
Yeah, it sure is. And Dr. Cass, you've been a remarkable guest. So thank you very, very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.